Okay, let's start the live stream here. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education, entertainment purposes only. Um, Trades, ideas that we talk about here don't necessarily mean I'm taking the trade. If I suggest I may take something, I may get out of it at any moment. I can sell and change my position on a turn of a dime. So you have to always do what's best for you and make your own decisions. Don't follow blindly. Own your results. Okay, let's jump into things. So here we are. Let's go right to your questions. We'll start out with the top. SE and Unity. Let's take a look at what I don't know that symbol off the top of my head. SE, but let's take a look here. What is that? Some kind of container company, it looks like. All right, let's see where we are with it here. Looks like that fifth wave ended and it truncated. We never really got to that real capitulation area. So, to me, that looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it does look like this cycle's finished. And now we're in the next cycle higher. And it looks like we're done the first wave on that cycle here. And now we're pulling back. And here you have a connector with a lower low sequence. So there's a potential long opportunity coming. And here we are somewhere around 47.91, 45.80. If we can get to this area for a long opportunity to catch the powerful wave 3 of this move higher out. Now we could still be in a connector wave, right? The connector waves love to do this. And I've talked about this before, where you come in, you break the low, rip up higher, and then you crash down later. So just watch for that, craziness. But this is a connector, so this is not a move to like use in my system to chase or do anything with, but be on the sidelines. And now this would be a better way to buy that, by the way, instead of trying to chase to find the bottom. Maybe you got lucky and got the bottom. So that's because it could always have extended. So it's always good to get the confirmation. Clearly the cycle's over, and now you get the pullback. Now you can go long with some bigger positions to ride this cycle for potentially new highs to come. You can kind of see this inverse head and shoulders trying to form here. Here's your left shoulder. I wouldn't be surprised to see the head form at 89, and then a multi-month consolidation again, and then eventually out. So it's still probably going to take a little bit of time here, but I do believe it looks like to me our move lower is finished. Now, if we were to come down and break this pivot, that would be pretty catastrophic for the stock and the chart, because more than likely then we're going to come back and break down into these areas here, the single digits, and maybe even lower. So this is kind of the final, final point. Bulls, final stand for the Bulls, guys. Okay, I got some super chats coming in. I'll just go into those real quick. So Dogecoin, Ryan K. We have not had anyone ask about Dogecoin in a long time. We'll have to go back to our charts and see where we are with that. Here, it's I have to sort. Let's get this sorted here. Looks like our chart is not. Oh yeah, I have it. Do I have it on my main page? I wonder if I had that on my main page. I got rid of it. Yeah, I don't know. Must have dropped the chart somewhere. Okay, let's take a look. We'll just try to go with. Let's see, what exchange do I want to pick? Let's do BitterX. Do we have a USD? Bitfinex, we'll do Bitfinex if we have a USD on that. Not seeing it. Let's try that one. We'll go with that one. All right. So here we are, Dogecoin. What is going on with Dogecoin? Okay, so obviously this is some kind of five-way move off the low here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now massive consolidation, right? In a wave two, here's your connector wave. That's your connector wave. And then more than likely the cycle ended here, right? So you have your three-wave move, and there's your cycle. And again, this is, I won't label it, but this is obviously a 3, 4, 5 right here. And so we'll just start labeling it from this bottom, and then you can kind of see where we're heading with it. And we need to look, as you can see, we have some divergence here. We could be in a 4 and a 5 right now. The divergence is probably going to play out like Bitcoin's in a 4 and a 5. So more than likely, where we are with the cycle is here. To me, this is yeah, it's a couple 1-2s in here, a couple 1-2s, couple 1-2s, and then a 3, a 4. We're in some kind of 5. So similar to Bitcoin's, 4s and 5s, unless it extends and erases divergence, which it can do, which is why I never like trading in and out of a wave 3, because that's what this is. And it is going to take time to get up to these levels, but I do think it seems pretty likely that it will grind higher and higher and higher. So pullbacks in 3 waves, but I do think it looks like this wave 5 is close to finishing. There's your 1 cycles too. So yeah, so it looks like to me this could either be finished or it's about to, and you get a bigger a 4, another 4, another 4. But I do think it's just going to keep grinding higher. And that's kind of Dogecoin. Thanks for the 5. Let's see here. Just got a bunch of super chats coming in. No particular order. I'll get to all of them. Tesla and DJT. So Tesla, I did put a video online last night. You can watch it. But Tesla looks like we have a tradable pivot here on this low. And we came out in a 1-2. It looks like we're forming another 1-2. 1-2, 1-2 setup, which is pretty bullish right now. That's what I would be looking for. The alternative, it could be a 1, 2, 3, 4. We get 5, and of course the bearish alternative is a 3-wave corrective move. If that happens, this gets breached. We could go much lower and potentially waterfall selling. So be careful, because we did have the cycle reset here. This leg. Which means it would go into some kind of wave 3 to the downside of a 3. So you definitely would want to keep some tight stops if you're trying to play this long. But I would only be playing this long right now, and with some tight stops around 159, 160. But it does appear to me that this looks like the cycle is now going to grind higher. And higher and higher. But with pullbacks, there'll always be pullbacks. And then DJT is that new Donald Trump stock? I hadn't had a chance to look at it yet. Let's take a look at Donald Trump stock here. Let's graph chart that real quick. Okay, so we're going to trade from the low. We're just going to assume that this is the end of the correction in wave 2, and we're building off of that low, which is pretty fair to say that's what's happening here. So we need to first find the low. Looks like that's it right there. So some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for a 1, 2 here, let's take a look. So looking at the RSI cycle, I'll look at something a little different. Okay, so that was my first, instinct, but I'm gonna label this actually as a wave 2, a cycle here. So maybe we just can't see it. We'll have to go to smaller time frames to get the 3 and 4. It's just not obvious to us, but we'll just say that's a 1, 2 here based on the RSI reading. And you have a 3 here, and you have your 4 here, and now you're in a 5. And that's how I would look at this right now. I would not be chasing it. It does look like some kind of wave 5. So typically that means it will retrace eventually back down to 31, 33 for another long opportunity. But it seems like this pump has come to an end. You have that divergence for a wave 5. And I would just say that, to me, I see 5 swings up here. I'd be careful, but it does look like to me it's in some kind of 5th wave decline that has just started. It's kind of something like that. But do what's best for you on that. I guess I'll put that in the meme stock bucket for now. Okay, thanks for the 5. It looks like I got a big super chat from Anonymous. I'll go to yours real quick. So yeah, crypto has been pretty bullish, depending on what stock you are in. HUT. So HUT, we were looking for this second wave here, and the market did build a connector. We did get a bounce, but then it failed for another swing lower. So it double corrected. That's pretty common. So then we had another buy area here. We just hadn't had a chance to chart that. But you're like, how would I have traded that? So we would have bought it here, got this nice pump, take some profit, or let's say you even held. So then you would have stopped back out when this low was breached with very minimal loss. But then you see you would have bought it again at 678, and look where that wick tagged, literally to the penny, guys. And this is why my system works. This is why my system works, because you would have bought at 678, you would have got filled, and then you would have caught the low. Looks like the low. So that's how you trade the market, and you would have had maybe just a minimal loss here because you would have got in here, you wrote it, okay, you're stopped out right here, and then you have a new buy area here, and then you would have went long, and now you would have played it right. So that's how you trade that. That's how you trade this market, and that's why people are like, oh no, you're wrong, look, you're wrong. It's how you trade it. You have to trade it like this. So now that you have the higher high, it's obviously going to extend higher. It does look like to me we have a divergence erase. This looks like a 1, 2 here of some kind, a cycle. Here, let's take a look here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's got 4s and 5s, and then it should pull back. This should pull back. Actually, that's not how I would label it. I would label it like this, like that, pull back and out, and the wave 3 continues. Okay, HUT, that's HUT, BT. Let's take a look. BT did the same thing. It double corrected down. This one, actually, the setup is poor, and I actually don't like this chart. I wouldn't call that a low. In fact, we broke the low, but we didn't finish the sequence lower. So I actually think this is set up to actually break these lows. So I don't like this chart from a bullish standpoint anymore. Again, using my system, and I can be wrong, so do what's best for you. But this looks like a big flat. This is like a big flat that's gonna play out and play out at some point. That's how I look at it. Now, could the flat be finished here? Let's take a look at the RSI. As you can see, we want that RSI to reset below below that low or get oversold, and we're nowhere near that. So I do think this is just a um, this chart does not look healthy to me. Even if we do continue higher, I'm willing to bet that it could become, a bigger move down, down into this area at some point here. Perhaps the opportunity to buy it is at 118. Using my system, I would only buy it at 118 against a low of 56 cents. Here, I'm on the sidelines. I wouldn't even entertain going in it, given all the other bullish stocks and crypto out there. Let someone else chase it. LTCN, remember we updated the chart and we said, okay, we're going to pump higher. So we are in this fifth wave. So this A is eventually going to end at some point. We're looking for, divergence to get erased. But to continue the extension, we have not done that. Let's take a look. So here we erased it on the 4-hour. So we are still in the A leg and we're extending. So people really want this. I think I think the people buying it don't understand how to calculate the NAV and the premium, and they're just like, oh yeah, this is $38 Litecoin, but it's nowhere near that. As you know, it's probably like more like $400 Litecoin. Yeah, I haven't checked the premium, so you're paying probably a 4-time premium by buying this. But hey, you know what? Throw caution to the wind. But I do think this is where we are with it, and it's just going to continue higher using this sequence for now. So just get ready. It's just keep going higher. It's very bullish. These altcoin equivalents. Okay, and then BCG I think did the same thing, right? Again, we updated the chart. But now we're getting to this is too big for a pullback, so it may have been just a very shallow pullback, which is very surprising. But maybe I shouldn't be, given where Bitcoin Cash, should be heading. So let's take a look here. I'm still looking for, you know what? I would still put this in a higher degree Y, and just have this in another WXY. So we're in another W wave that needs to pull back at some point like that. So I still looking for, this type of move, but it does look like it's going higher. Very bullish, very, very bullish. And hey guys, if you haven't seen my Bitcoin Cash forecast before, I gave predictions that we would be in way in the thousands on the next cycle higher in Bitcoin Cash, and it really is heading in that trajectory. We're really breaking out. Blowing, we're not really spending a lot of time correcting. So we really are pulling out of this massive consolidation. And I do believe this was my target for the cycle high here at $9,000. And I do believe we'll get there, guys. So just Bitcoin Cash is very bullish because of the chart, the nature of the chart, and how long it has spent in a bear market. It basically spent a whole crypto cycle winter here, not doing anything, but eventually everyone for some reason is going to want this thing. It's going to want it bad, and it's already starting to see that. But we're in the basin phase where this can just come right back up through here in a blink of an eye, just like we saw in these charts right here. So just understand that. We saw that in Dogecoin. We've seen that before in these crypto stocks, and it's just very bullish. Bitcoin Cash is just very bullish, guys. It's just breaking through all the resistance pretty easily, and that's why I have it here on my watch list. So then Litecoin, so Litecoin, there was always two possible paths for Litecoin, right? It was either a big flat, that which I really wanted to see that to get to the higher prices that I was hoping to see. This flat play out. I wanted to see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's starting to look like that's not going to happen. As you could see, we broke the long-term cycle here, so we are in a new bull market in Litecoin. So this chart is invalidated, so it's actually the more bullish chart of a 1-2-1-2 setup in Litecoin. you have to, this is the labeling, right? It is what it is. So that means this setup is set up for a massive pump. So I would say Litecoin looks pretty bullish here, and it looks like 5 up. So you got to label it bullish. Now this looks like 5 down. So you still got to be careful you don't get this double correction out, but I think that would be a buying opportunity if we got that here. If you got this A, B, C, and come back to 57. But it's starting. But once we break 115, 120, I believe it will be off to the races as people chase it. As people chase it and FOMO in it. This does look like 5 down. This looks like 5 down to me. I mean, this could be a flat. I could put the one here and call it an ABC. And if that's the case, this would be a wave 5. There's your 3, 4, 5. There's your divergence. So perhaps you have one more pullback before a really epic pump in Litecoin, like one more pullback down to 73 here. This is the most bullish interpretation of the chart. So we'll go with that because that's what it seems like it's doing, and that would be a pullback to 75. And as we peaked here at any moment in this first cycle higher. But you'll have to do what's best for you in Litecoin. But that's kind of how I have to change it. It's just more bullish. We did not get it does not look like that flat's going to happen. Easier to look at underlying coin without the premium. Yeah, it is, but the premium, you have to chart the premium because the premium represents FOMO. It represents short squeeze because it's in the stock market itself. I would say that you should chart the premium, the grayscale product because that will happen. You will see a premium because if Litecoin goes from like 100 to 1,000 and Bitcoin Cash goes from 600 to 6,000, people are just going to flood money into those things without any rhyme and reason. It's just going to be insane. Those things are going to go crazy insane with premium. So you might as well, you could really, get some really good upside on that. So it should be charted separate because what I've noticed with Grayscale, when the crypto's in wave 3 of a super cycle degree or grand super cycle, the premiums can go like extraordinarily high. And even Bitcoin had that in its wave 3 at premium back in the day. When it trades below premium, it's typically in some kind of fifth wave or bear market corrective move. So I think what the premium is telling you is we're going to have an alt season that's going to be wave 3 of the grand super cycle of altcoins. Okay, that's what I think we're coming into. What's crazy is altcoins really pump in wave 5. So, maybe the cycle, you go 4 or 5 years and so I think like the altcoins represent a good opportunity, but maybe, it's even better in the fifth wave grand super cycle, which comes much later because we're only in the third wave grand super cycle, just starting that wave with Bitcoin. But the altcoins really make its money in the wave 5 of the grand super cycle, which is what we saw in 2017, right? So because that was most altcoins that was the end of the peak for most, not all of them, but most of them. And Bitcoin Cash was one of those, and now it's resurrecting itself like Litecoin. Those were the old coins of glory, right? And now they're becoming popular again, and that makes sense as those enter wave 3 of their respective grand super cycle degree moves. But really, wave 5 is where the action's going to be in those altcoins. Wave 3, I want to be more in like Bitcoin household coin names. But you can trade in and out of these altcoins. All right, let's look at. I got a lot of super chats to get through, so let's get through that. I'll start with the next one. We'll do iSeeker here. INJ. INJ is I don't know if that's the crypto INJ or your stock. Let me see here. I'm going to assume you mean the crypto. Here, and I believe we were close to that peak here. Let's take a look at what happened as our chart played out. Let's see here. It looks like to me you finished this kind of 4 and 5, but this turned into another 1 2 here. So what it did is it corrected this move 1 2, and now it's in another 1 2. So sellers are desperately trying to drop this, but now it's just not working. So as long as this low holds, it should continue to melt up. Then SNX, let's take a look at that here. SNX, not familiar with this stock. All right, so it looks like to me that's some kind of 1 2 1 2 setup. So we have a 1 2 1 2 setup here, and it's obviously so here we are. I do think, yeah, I mean that's the connector wave around here. There's your low. And looks like to me, let's go to the daily. This is a tough cycle. To me, it looks. I'm gonna go with this discount right now, but I can be wrong. So you'll have, because there's some alternatives, but I think this is the count. So we finish this wave 5, pull back to like 96, and then we come out to new all-time highs. And then the next one is Storage A. I think that's another crypto. Yeah. Let's see if I have that charted. I don't have that one. All right, let's see here. We'll go with US dollar. Don't tether. We'll just do tether. So when you see charts like this, you just trade from the low, and just obviously the trend is bullish off this low. Looks like easy 5 waves up. I mean, you don't need a lot of training to see that. Okay, something like this, and now it's in a correction, right? This looks like 5 down, 3 up. We held the low, but it seems pretty likely we'll break the low. So to me, it looks like it's in this corrective move, and we should go lower. But I would think this low will hold for a potential buy-in opportunity at around 36 cents. But it does seem at risk for this C leg. And then if we could take out 91, that would negate this, and then obviously we'll continue higher. But I look at this as like a 5-wave move down here. But let's take another look. Sometimes 3-wave moves can fool you here. Yeah, so this is your connector, and this broke. So you could have had the low here. You broke the low. You ran up higher. So yeah, to me, we'll be breaking that low somewhere around 42 cents. Somewhere in this area would be the area. This wick tried to get that tagged out. It tried to tag that right there. Tried to tag it, but it missed. Yeah, if we would have saw that divergence erase there, then I would have been thinking that could be a bottom, but I think it's gonna go lower. All right. And Unify, I think we've done that before in the past. Let's see here. Let's take a look. Unify. Again, I'm just picking some random exchanges here. Yeah, it looks like 5 up off that low. Yeah, some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a flat correction. So I would be trading against 525. Trading against 525. Really, actually against this low. So this is one of those charts where you can try to go long and put your stop at like 550 or even 510, 513. But it looks that's what this chart looks like to me. If we do break these lows here, this would be a connector for this move down. More than likely, that would break this low and would create a wipeout chart, go to zero chart. So this really is a backing into the low situation for the chart. It really needs to hold these levels here that I have and continue higher. But you have to do what's best for you. All right. We'll go to the next super chat here. John Deere short term. Let's take a look at John Deere, guys. John Deere. Yeah, that one I briefly looked at, but let's do a better look at that. I was looking at that last night here. So, before you do the short term, you have to know where you are long term. So long term, the grand super cycle ended here, and we pulled back. Now we pulled back and we broke the 4, so that actually the grand super cycle could be finished here. That's a possibility. But when you look at the RSI cluster, you didn't really get that full reset, right? Here, the monthly as well. If you look at the monthly chart, this does not look good either. You see that? We're right there. We broke. So this is perfectly, normal, because that's what I would expect to see at the end of the grand super cycle, which is what we're in. So that's why I think we're in some kind of B wave, and we'll get a much bigger C wave soon at some point, if not any moment. So shorter cycles here, it's like, what could this be? Well, it's a lot. Connector waves can be really tough to label. So when I look at this here, I look at that whole move down. It looked like to me a 5-wave move down, or potential 3-wave move with an expanded flat connector here. But then when we broke this side here, that negated that. So this is very messy chart here. So let's take a look. A, B, C, D, E. Let's see here. Down A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, I look at this. Let's see. Let's look at the weekly. We're breaking higher. Yeah, so I'm gonna still say it's in a higher degree B. So I'm going back to the same chart I had before, where you have an A and something like this. So shorter cycles, it looks bullish because of this move here, this breakout here. Okay, that tells me we're pushing higher, but I believe this rally will eventually fail spectacularly. Okay, that's just my take on it, but I can be wrong. Do what's best for you. So if this is right, so then you need to know, where are we with the connector wave. So you have 3 up here. So let's see if we can figure this connector wave out. A W like that. Yeah, something like that maybe. So you have 3, 3, and then up. So yeah, something like that. And then like that, something like that. That's what I'd be looking for, something like that. All right, good luck on trading John Deere, but that's how I look at it right now. Let's go to the next one. Disney, PayPal. Disney, I've already mentioned before, it's in a bull cycle higher. It's in a massive connector wave that, in theory could last years. It could even break the all-time highs. So there's no reason to worry about this going down. It looks like, again, we got a really shallow pullback here in wave two. Now, we are about to erase this divergence on the daily here, which would be pretty bullish. So I think this is kind of safe to assume that's where we're heading with it, and we'll just continue higher. I wouldn't look to sell it, to be honest with you. I would just look for continued upside momentum. But I do believe that at some point there'll be a massive rug pull, because when I look at the late wave down, this is clearly 5 down, and then we came and we broke the low here, and now we're rallying up. So, so larger degree time frame, I think it's higher, but I do know at some point this will come into play, and then we'll get the final move lower. This doesn't look like it can be a flat because this looks like 5 up. This does not look like 3 up at all. It's too long of a wave for a corrective wave. So that's why I have this chart. So long-term investment in Disney, probably not that great, but day trade in, yeah, bullish side, yeah, probably good trade here. And just like the indices, right, this is a very shallow two here. So, could the labeling be off? Possibly. Could this be a 3, 4, 5? Even if that's the case, it would drop back down to 109 and still come out in a 3. So even if this is wrong and this is a 5 and we pull back, then it still should have support in this area that I have circled right around here. PayPal is one that we have looked at in the past. I think on this channel we called the bottom on that. Let's see here. Let's take a look at where we are with it here. So we got this final push lower and see like we wanted in this wave 2. Didn't get to the extreme. We got to 55. We wanted 53, but it's close enough. We had the bottom here at 50, and now we're pushing higher as wave 3 is born. And I do believe PayPal is in the next, super cycle higher. 1, 2, 1, 2 set up there. So pretty bullish as it enters wave 3. And perhaps that's your first 3 and 4 right here. So it should continue higher. Again, it could always erase divergence, and then of course it would pull back, and then continue the wave 3. This wave 3. All right, something like that. But that's how I look at PayPal, and then yeah, YNN is the China triple levered, right? Is that that's the bull? I think that's the bull one. Yeah, bull shares. Haven't looked at that in a while. So, from a chart perspective, it broke that low. So ultimately, it's going to chop around, right? And obviously, it's been obliterated over the years. Fibonacci support is at 726 in this area, where you can get a massive rally like we had here. There was some Fibonacci support here at one point. I do think it will eventually get back down here, but if you look at this chart, it looks like 3 waves. So this looks like, again, that market, this where you get this A, B, potentially C, and then it drains out. So I would be looking for something like that potentially, given the setup in the Hang Seng right now. Now, if the Hang Seng breaks the October low, then of course 726 is in play. So this is how I would look at it right now. This is how I look at it. Something like this. And let's see if we broke this cycle. We broke the cycle, so this downtrend's over. Okay, this downtrend's over. Right? Some kind of, so it's over. And let's take a look here. This is the weekly cycle. It's ready to break out. Okay, so on the verge of a reversal, that could be very lucrative for YNN. But again, it's not like, hey, I could just hold this in my retirement fund for years to come. I wouldn't do that because at some point this will end, and then it will go back down. Go back down. But I do think it looks like to me this move is over, and my guess is if this low breaks, the Hang Seng's broke the October lows, and then that means it's heading down to these areas that I have highlighted. Okay, thanks for the 4 random. Can you please do ServiceNow? Yeah, ServiceNow ticker. That's a very bullish stock that most professional investors covet. It's a very coveted stock by the professional investment community that I'm pretty aware of, that I see. Let me see if I can find it here. There it is. Let's take a look at what we've got going on here. So could this still be in a massive connector wave and fool everyone? Let's take a look at what we have here. So what I don't like is we didn't complete the correction. You see how we finished 3 and then we broke the low, but we didn't get that capitulation, right? And then this is way too short to be a Y leg for this. So this is really 5 down now. So this turned into a 5 wave move lower, down. So that's 5 down. This looks like 5 up. Okay, it looks like 5 up. So again, just kind of looking at this structure a little bit, let's take a look at divergences and see how we look. So to me, this looked like 5 down. Then when we look at this, you see how we clearly this is a connector wave. Like this is a connector wave, right? And then you come down, you see how you did break the low here. So it's actually a 3-wave move. It's in disguise. So what happened here, go back to my original chart, is you looked at this, it's like this is too short, but the technicals show that that's exactly what happened. So this is the right way to label it. This move, it was just that bullish. So that's why the wave 3 has been extraordinary, and I think it will continue to be now, because this was just such a shallow correction that really goes against what you typically see in the market. So yeah, so ServiceNow obviously is in Grand Super Cycle Wave 3 now, and it should continue much higher for a long time. Now, this looks like your first 1-2 right here, right? Yep. And then this looks like your 3-4 right here. So to me, it looks like you've got some kind of 1-2, 3-4. So you've got this cycle coming to an end soon. Again, unless it can erase divergence, but it's going to be very hard for it to do that. It's going to need a massive pump. So more than likely we finish, we come back down to 706, and then we really off to the races. If you look at where the wave 4 low is, that's the low. So it's more than likely when this 2 comes back, it's not going to go much lower than 722, 708. This area, you're not going to probably get a very deep pullback in this wave 2. But that's how I'd look at it, and then it should go, much higher in wave 3. Much higher. That and more than likely, stock splits are coming. So something like that. So to me, this looks like, wave 4 maybe is finished here, and we're in some kind of 5th wave right now. So that's how I'd look at ServiceNow. Okay, let's see, guys. Let's go to your next question. Alex, Wolf, ETC, VLO. Let's see here. Is that, I would assume that's some kind of crypto. Oh, TerraWolf. Okay, it's a stock. All right. Let's Let's see here. I guess we don't have it here. Let's take a look. So looking for this wave 2. So I still would be careful in it. You see that's a connector. So I still think it's going to break this high, but I don't think it will break 406. So it's a really tricky chart, but perhaps there's a short opportunity at 349 up to 402, and then stop, get out of your short at 402, but something like that is where I'm thinking it's heading, something like that. Okay, next is ETC. Let's see. Let's see here. I don't know. I assume you mean the crypto, but you can put in the comments later if which one you mean. Which one you want me to do. So again, I'm just picking a random exchange. So again, you trade from this low. It's still in some kind of wave 3 of 3. Yeah, I would probably do that. So here's the thing, you only have 3 off the low. So this could be a corrective bounce. So it can actually it's still at risk of breaking the low at 12. But if it can take out this wave 3 peak, it confirms the bottom's in. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with this 5th wave, if it can overtake the peak or not. But it's in an area where you really have to just be on the sidelines. VLO. Oh, Valero. All right, let's see here. Yeah, it looks like we're in that wave 3. I think we've charted this before, and that looks like the 1-2 right here, and 3. Looks like 4s and 5s are coming. Choppiness. But it should continue to grind higher. So this was a good one. I think we charted this when it was down at 120. So a lot of gains. A lot of gains on that. Okay. All right, let's like I said, I'm just kind of going down the list. I will get to all the super chats. If Bitcoin Cash is going to 9,000, how high can Litecoin go? Yeah, I've charted Litecoin before. I think it can go to $3,000 to $5,000. I've charted the Grand Super Cycle Wave 3 on Litecoin. I've done that a long time ago, and that's where I think it end up, is in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. And maybe that's what LTCN is foreshadowing, right, with the price action, because maybe you will pay. If you know it's going to go to the thousands, shit, pay a 4-time premium. I mean, why not? I mean, if I'll buy $400 Litecoin all day if it's going to go to $5,000, I mean, so I think that's, again, you got to play the long game, but I do think that's, that is a lot of bullish energy in some of those grayscale products, man. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Okay, let's go to Bama here. Hope you're gonna be around when it all heads south. Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna trade, and like I said, all good things come to an end. Even everything here will have a calamity, right? Eventually, this will end, right? This will end, right, guys? Look what's coming. This is coming, right? Again, this corrective move will happen. Count on it. It's gonna happen. The Bears, man, they're going to be right, but then they're going to wish they're not going to be right because we'll have probably like 40, 30% unemployment. They probably all will have jobs. Like, well, it's going to suck. I mean, it is going to be like horrible, horrible, horrible. But this is needed to cleanse the system and make some changes because, shit's getting out of hand with rent and food and, that shit's got to have to get reset here. But eventually this will happen. This is going to happen, this deflationary drop. But the only thing that could prevent that is if the Fed really does go all in on inflation to avoid this, and then they end up hyperinflating the market by accident. And then the chart is the opposite of this, but then you get a massive hyperinflationary situation too. And again, long-term rates, guys, are showing you where we're eventually heading. Eventually, this corrective move will end, and when it does, we will usher in rates in over 9-10%, potentially higher on the long-term end, and that's probably game over that'll be our debt crisis. Our country will have a massive crisis. So I think but hey, it's good times, man. Let's party. It's fun. Bull markets are fun, but this shit's gonna come to an end. I am telling you guys, this is going to come to an end. If we are in the grand super cycle, wave 5 of 3. Okay, guys. So it's a wave 3 of 5. It's a wave 3 of a grand super cycle degree. So it is kind of cool. The market is doing things it's never done, like we've seen. It's like no pullbacks, right? No 5% pullbacks. No volatility is as low as it gets. So those are all wave 3 characteristics. That's what we're in. But like all good things, they come to an end. But yeah. Thanks for the super chat, man. But yeah, I should be around. Let's take a look at CGC. Let's look at that. Cannabis. Let's take a look at how's cannabis doing, guys. So I called this C leg. All right. Now, your question is, finished wave 1 of 5 in C. Does wave 1 of 5 look too big for C compared to wave A of the flat? I don't compare the two legs. Obviously, it would be nice if they're symmetrical, but I never look at that and make trading decisions from that situation. So I just trade it on its own merit because the C leg theoretically can go, it can go as high as it wants. Right, it could, but it doesn't have to. All it needs to do is break this peak. So, but yeah, I mean, the way to know if the cycle's over is I like to look at the RSI, especially on the 45-minute chart. So let's take a look at where the low is and price right there. So as you could see, there's your 3 peak right there. There's your 5th peak, right? And now you're pulling back. You broke the cycle. This looks like it should continue lower. So yeah, you're probably in wave 2. Yeah, you're probably in wave 2, and more than likely it usually drops to 4 low 590. So that's where I would be looking for it to go to eventually, and then continue higher. Tilray. Verify second wave 2 label. Okay, yeah. All right. So kind of the same idea, 45-minute cycle here. So that's the low. So this actually looks like it tagged the same price. So TradingView may not have all the trading information. So we're just going to have to go from this point. And again, it looks like we broke the cycle here. And then even if I put the pivot there, we broke it down. There's your massive peak. Now what's interesting is this is wave 1, 2. This is 3. If this is 3, 4, 5 here, you don't have the RSI confirmation of that. So this is probably going to be a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup in Tilray. Let's take a look here. So here on the 4-hour, there's your 3 here. So yeah, I look at it. There's your 4. So there's no confirmation 5 is over, but it does look like it's over at any moment. It does look like it's over at any moment. So maybe something, something like this. Down. Yeah. Yeah. To me, I mean, from a swing standpoint, they're done, right? You have one, two, three, four, five. So yeah, more than likely, this impulse is finished, but you don't have as clear as confirmation that it is in fact start in wave two. We could extend in wave five, but I would caution you that until Ray, because of the 45-minute chart, this could extend in a 1-2-1-2 setup and fool the market. The reason I did that is here. You see that peak? We never got a peak in the in here. Now we did in the 4 hour, but not. So this has all the hallmarks for a wave 3 extension. So this could really fool the market, thinking this is over. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does something like that. Also, you see how we broke that peak here? That's very bullish. So yeah, I would say it's 50-50, 1-2-1-2 or done. I would not be shorting this at all, especially with this peak break in here. Did CGC break its swing peak? Let's see. Uh, let's take a what date was that again? Until so this was January peak. Where was CGC on January? Yeah, okay, yeah, it's well beyond its peak and it broke that. So yeah, they're just different charts, but maybe this is lagging behind. It's going to catch up. CGC, it's a catch-up trade. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but I think it's kind of 50-50 where it goes. But I would not be surprised to see a wave 3 extension morph into it. But this is the more conservative view. But we don't have confirmation the wave 5 is over. Okay, I'll go to the next super chat. CVX and cold. Yeah, how's Chevron doing here? So oil was finding some support. Let's take a look at where we're going. So we're still looking for this wave 2 to tag 164 and then rug pull. So that's what we're looking for. So there's really no change to that chart. There's no change. I'm still looking for this kind of price action, and honestly, it can be finished at any moment. But you'll have to do what's best for you. But I do think this is just a corrective move. I mean, this looks like 5 down to me. But anyway, and then cold. Yeah, so cold is one that maybe now natural gas has just kind of been in free fall. It's like now people get interested in cold. I haven't charted this in a while. So we erased divergence here. So this extended. So we extended in wave 3. This looks too deep for a wave. So that's probably another 1-2 here. We flipped that resistance into support now at 134. So it looks like 257 is the next target in cold. And we did break this high after this swing, so it should continue higher. We break high at 189. That should really get us up to 250, and 260. Now the alternative could be that we take another swing down. If we were to do that, we'll have to reassess it, but then you could have a long opportunity in this as a trade. So if the market does decide to do that and take a swing down to 92.65, that would be an opportunity to buy in this area again. And then we would change the labeling, but it does look like to me right now, this is the way to label cold. Something like that. but it's very risky. These are risky instruments to trade. You have to do what's best for you. But I'm looking at this kind of price structure. See how the low, like a higher low, higher low, higher high. So it's building momentum. It's getting more and more bullish, more and more parabolic. So yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of how I look at that. And yes, we were long here, guys. We got the buy here. We got the buy signal at $10, but took profit way too early, right? I think we took profit way. But hey, you know, no one. I think no one could have expected it to do something like this. I mean, this is insane, right? This type of bear market that natural gas is in. It's really a historic bear market. It's been in. One thing I want to warn you guys about with cold and boil, if you're in natural gas, and this is my experience trading, natural gas, I think, will have a capitulation moment at some point. And perhaps even prices go negative. But when that event happens, you're going to see swings each day of 30-40% in either direction, maybe even more. That may make boil and cold go out, like go under, because those funds can't reopen the next day. So you need to understand that you could just one day, you could be like making, you know, thousands and thousands in cold, then get that capitulation event. You're like, I'm rich, but then it, you know, the market reopens and it's up like 70%, you know, from like 0.2 cents to 6.6 cents. And then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, cold's bank. Well, I lost all my money. That's probably what's going to happen in both of those funds. I bet both of those funds are going to be wiped out, like with the volatility that I expect will eventually happen in this level. So just understand, you better, you know, you just got to be really careful as you're in this, because I do think there'll be massive volatility. We saw that in oil in March 2020, right? And some of those levered oil funds did not, they closed down for good. They weren't able to reopen. I used to trade them. But yeah, so just understand that Volmageddon, some of those short volatility funds closed forever. You know, so get ready whenever this happens. I don't know. But this is, whatever happens here, it's going to fail. This move will fail even if we continue higher and this too continues higher. The move will fail. The move is going to fail. Okay, so let's see here. Let's just scan back through. I think I got all the super chats, and see what else people have going on here. What's going on with Alibaba? Alibaba here. I have it in this kind of wave 2. You know, kind of an ugly wave 2. So as long as we hold that low at 66, we're looking for wave 3 out. So that's how BABA looks. And then Lab, what is the next one? TNA. Yeah, TNA, I'm in that. TNA is a trade, you know. TNA is got more upside, and I do like that here. It was a buy here on that pullback. I'm looking for the, you know, $60, you know, $58 at some point. I'm trading it off this low in a 1-2, 1-2, 3 of 3 come in, and then, you know, probably dump it around this area as a trade. And we did break this high here on these swings. You have 2 massive swings. You break the high, so it really does open us up for more upside to 50, you know, into the high 50s and 60s. On TNA. Okay, lab up. How's lab up doing? If the Russell's gonna go higher, lab up should be doing okay. Let's take a look here. We're not seeing that price action though. So we did break the pivot here. Could this could be a run-in flat potentially? Maybe this chart isn't right. I think you got to be careful of the run-in flat if the Russell's gonna extend higher. So I would not, and then if this is a run-in flat, this could end at any moment. So I would say short term, it's really tough to label this, but I do think it's still got more upside. as long as it stays above this low here. So I think it's just going to continue higher. And then, all right, we already did Dogecoin, GDXU. I do love the GDX, and GDXU, is obviously another way to play that. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh yeah, it's in my commodities, I think. Let's see here: uranium, lithium, silver, gold. There it is. Okay. So you see how we broke these lows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah, I mean, if I look at this looks like 5 down, and we broke this low. So again, looking at this structure overall, let's look at the RSIs and see something. See if we can see anything here. Could this be some kind of massive super cycle 5th degree 5-wave move down? Possible. It would be, interesting to see this. I mean, could it be something like this? Possible. If that's the case, that means the GDX is going to get hammered, right? Hammered down. So I guess looking at the triple levered again, we did break this down. So this is 3. So I'm going to go with this as the count of some kind of A, B, C leg move, and C again can really extend for a long time, or it just needs to break this high. So I do think it's in a move higher, and it should just continue the impulse off this low, is what I'm thinking. And wave 3. Okay, something like that. All right. Do you think Shiba is another meme stock? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's, but it was pretty popular. All right, let's go to another super chat here. SLNH. SLNH. All right, let's look at SLNH here. Can you take a look at that? It's crypto miners. Is that what that is? SLNH? Okay, we've never charted this before. Pretty ugly chart. We did break this all-time low. So that's usually a sign of a go to zero chart. So I never like to trade those charts, just so you know. I don't trade go to zero charts. And ask Fisker why, what happens when you break those lows. I mean, they tend to go to zero. So you have to label this bearish, right? So it's a bearish cycle that needs 5 waves down. You have an overlap in 1, 2. So you don't have that here. You have a 1, 2, 1, 2 here. So I think it's just going to continue lower. Now, again, it could be in a connector wave. So let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, to me, this is not something I personally like trading, but 1, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, I mean, to me, this is some kind of 1, 2. Until otherwise, I mean, this is what that is. So that's what I'd be looking at, something like that. So hopefully that works out on SLNH. And then I don't really trade or do VIX and stuff and puts and all that, but I do, you'll have to decide what you want to do with that. I'd say like for the VIX itself, my target on the VIX is in like 11, maybe even 10. I do see it going lower. You do have it below this massive trend line resistance. I do see a drop in, so that's just what I see. Uh, but look, what I do see also at some point, whenever this move eventually ends, we should get a volatility event up, right? So, maybe this goes on for a longer, right? It goes, much longer, maybe to the end of the summer. I have to, draw, and then we kind of start coming up, get some divergence. The market makes higher highs, the VIX is making higher highs, and then October comes, the election, boom, out. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. So anyway, all right. I'm just gonna scan through the comments real quick. I'm probably gonna have to wrap it up here. Riot. Yeah, I do like Riot, but I'm waiting for the right price. I don't want to chase or speculate. So I am trying to be patient and waiting for Riot to tag 779. So that's where I'm waiting for that to happen, this area. Um, let's see here. Just going to scan through some final comments and then I got to get going. Yeah, I should do something just on crypto, especially with the bull market that's emerging. I labeled 1-2, but your second wave is lower. It may be. I maybe didn't see it right. It's hard to see my screen sometimes. It's tricky, and TradingView sucks with trying to, put the labeling on. Let me see if that's right. If that's right, that's obviously wrong. If I did that here. Okay, yeah, I just didn't see it right. You're right. So this is obviously wrong here. This is wrong, right? So it's So yeah, that's how I would label it. So here's the thing. Okay, so look, now that I've noticed that that low broke, so big move down, connector, we break the low. So looking at that, again, looking at that overall structure, this could be very dangerous to trade on the long side for a buy and hold, because this could be just a big connector and a very big bear market continuation. So let's look at the RSIs and see again, see all that divergence. Yeah, I'm willing to speculate that this is a connector wave, that this 2 is actually still in play, or it's not a 2 and it's just going to break to new lows, and then this is some kind of A, B, C, and then here we're in something like that. All right, so that's good. Yeah, I just missed that. So yeah, that's how I'd look at it. So it's a very different chart now, right? But because we broke that pivot, I do think we could ramp up. And now that we broke this high, so what's interesting is if this actually ends here, there's actually a technical chance that B is in, and actually C comes back down all the way. Wouldn't that be something? So yeah, real nasty chart. Yeah, not one little change really changes the whole picture of the instrument. So yeah, very dangerous chart to be on the long side, given that break of that low here. So yeah, I just missed that. I didn't see it. It was just hard to see sometimes. Mara, yeah, let's look at Mara too, since I have that charted. Again, I'm waiting patiently for Mara. Looking for this B leg. Again, I was showing the connector. At some point we should fail. I'm looking for 1223, hopefully at some point. And then JD is China. I think, we had the low in that alert here, this low, and we're coming out of that like we're seeing. So this could be a really good opportunity. Now, one thing I don't like is look at this Y, right? Is pretty ugly. So we need to take a look at the corrective count on it. Let's do that real quick. Fibonacci support, we had it, but from a swing standpoint, you see how we did erase divergence there? So it's a real tricky chart, right? So it definitely was a shallow, you didn't get that classic capitulation move down. let's see here. Yeah, it's just going to be 3 down like that, so it's done here. So yeah, very important low right there. And we trade up off of that low. Maybe this is a 4 and a 5, right, to be conservative. So I would just label it like that for now. Okay. So, oh, there's some more super chats. Maybe I missed some. Let me scan back and go through it. It's hard to keep track. I'm getting so many today. It's really good. Okay, yeah, Alcoa. I think that's a new one. Alcoa. Let's see here. Industrial. How's that doing? So we're looking for that C leg to eventually end. It looks like it's probably finished, right? We just needed an impulse. You probably have a 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like it's probably finished that move. See how we finish that cycle. We're turning up. Let's look at the bigger picture though on it. What is going on here? W 3 down. Let's see here. So see how we broke that low here. So let's look at some divergences to see if we truncated or not. We didn't. So yeah, this is still kind of bearish. Oh, on a higher degree. All right, let's see here. Something like that. That's what I'm looking for. So yeah, we're probably in this X wave. That eventually around 2026, 27 will start to fail. And then, yeah, then by the end of the decade, could be a calamity in the market, which is kind of what, the grand super cycle chart I showed earlier is predicting, right? If we're in 3 of 5 of the grand super cycle, this chart makes sense, right? We pump, and then boom, calamity. So, but it does look like we're in a nice cycle higher, bull cycle higher, about to get going. Something like that. All right, that was Alcoa. Let me just make sure. Okay, Joe, I think you're a new super chat there. Let me go into your questions. MongoDB. Okay, we've done that one before. Okay, so we were looking for still move higher. So probably this was some kind of flat, but the RSI reset the cycle. So we're actually still in this wave 2 here. So we're still in that wave 2, but as you can see, it's a flat. So typically the flat breaks this low at 319. That's what you normally see unless it's a run-in flat. It doesn't have to, so it's hard to find the exact bottom. But a real, nice safe entry would be at 279. If it got there, got to this area, this could be a really great opportunity for a long position. But time and time again, we've seen things truncate, especially with run-in flats. So, but it could easily still continue lower. So that's how I'd look at that. So it just took a higher degree correction. But since we broke this high, this is a shakeout. This is just trying to get people to leave it before the market makers make the move higher on it. That's what's happening here on that. And then race. Yeah, race. I do have that. Yeah, that's just pretty much been parabolic. It's in a wave 3, right? Grand super cycle degree. There's your first swing. So it should just continue to push higher. Now, what's interesting is when you look at this, a lot of Elliott wave people would have said a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to short here. I'm so smart, right? I'm so smart. I'm going to short. And then what happens? You get blown up in a wave 3. Boom. So that's why you got to be careful with divergence trading, right? You got to be careful because I'm sure there was a lot of bearish divergence right around here at 365. I'm sure there was a ton of bearish divergence, especially at 348, but divergence got erased. Look at that, divergence got erased. So just understand that. That's what the market does to traders every day, especially wave 3s. So here we are. So we're extending. There really is no reason to sell this, but there could be some pullbacks if you get lucky, and you can get in on this again. So anyway, that's that one. COP. Let's see if we have that. ConocoPhillips. Let's take a look at where we are with that. So we didn't get the 1, 2 here. Did we broke the high here. We're in 3 down, 3 up. So let's see here. Yeah, very messy chart. This looks like a triangle of some kind forming in the connector wave. Let's see here. One, two. Yeah, see, it's just too bullish for me, but I have to label the chart the way I see it. So yeah, the chart morphed into a very bullish chart for some reason. I still think it's very dangerous, but now you're seeing, since you're seeing 5-wave moves and you're seeing these peaks change, it's morphing into something like this. Okay, something like that. That's what it's morphing into. So yeah, it's the thing it could also become is some kind of A, B, C, D, E, but we broke that high, so I think it, from my it negates that. So yeah, with this high break-in, I think the bearish chart is invalidated. It's just it's not bearish anymore. It's not bearish anymore. Okay, that's that, and then LRCX. Lamb Research. I don't think we've ever charted that one. Looks like a 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. See, the first cycle ended somewhere here. Actually here. And then you have another 1, 2. Now you're in 3. And again, a lot of Elliott wave people would have said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again blown up. So that's why you got to use these RSIs. So here, as you can see, we haven't taken this peak out. I do think we will do that. So I think it's just, just kind of sit tight and enjoy the ride higher. I think it's just massive upside potential, and I do believe the monthly RSI should take this peak out here as wave 3 is really gets going of the ground super cycle for this chart. And then the next one is EL. Estee Lauder. Yeah, we've never done that one. Obviously, grand super cycle ended there. Connector wave. So 90, the buy was at 96, 96. We tagged 102. That very well could be the low right there. So it's probably bottomed. This, it's probably already bottomed here. So it's probably done its corrective move. This leg is done. This leg is over. And now it's in a cycle higher. So it either will form a connector wave for another move lower later or go to new all-time highs. So it looks like it started its bull cycle higher. It looks like a 1-2-1-2 setup. That's what it looks like to me. Now, I can't quite see it, but it looks like if that high broke there, you have to be careful that it's not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 2 goes a little deeper. So it may not be a 1, 2. So I'll leave it this way. But if it is that, then you could see it drop to 131. But this is in a bullish cycle now against 102. So it should be a new bull market being born in this company, EL. Okay, let me go back through super chats and see if there's anything else that I may have missed. I think I got them all. All right, and then just a few more questions. XRP, I'll look at that real quick because I know a lot of people like to trade that. Yeah, how is that doing these days? So we have a 3-wave move, and then we're in a connector for another push lower for Y. So this is A, B, yeah, tough looking at it. Yeah, to me, ideally I'd like to see it come back down and break this low, but given that the crypto market's so bullish, I think we have to label it this way, and then just take the more bull, because it seems like the most bullish scenarios are playing out. And then this looks like 5 up too here. So if that's the case, if we're in wave 2, there's a potential long opportunity if it were to go down again. Maybe down here in this area right here. So if it were to drop there, if it were to drop, this could be an opportunity to go long for this wave 3, but there is a chance that it's already finished and it's about to move higher. We didn't break this high here, so that's interesting. So yeah, this is very a lot of different alternative counts, but this is the most bullish interpretation of that I could think of, and that seems like what crypto's been doing lately. Okay, just real quick, pod and hood. Pod and hood, I have those charts. Let me go to the one of these here. So pod, like I mentioned, looks like to me it's in a cycle higher at the moment. This X wave, but it seems like to me we will push lower and break this low here at some point. The reason I think that is because we broke here. Let me see this low right there, this swing right there. That swing now. Now it could be finished already, but I think it still has more upside. So that's what I think pod's going to do, but I do think it's in a bull market as long as it's above 126. It should continue in wave 3 of 3 of the grand super cycle, but this correction may take a little bit of time here. If we do break this low, it's going to the stock could get destroyed. The stock could get destroyed. And then Robinhood is in, I have it in a wave 5, guys, Robinhood, but we've seen these things extend so many times. I would not be trying to trade in and out of it or short it here. And honestly, if you followed me, you should I've already, like, if you wanted to buy it, we had opportunity to buy it a long time ago here. And now we're in this fifth wave that really can end at any moment. But if this is right and we end this fifth wave, this pullback in two should find support at 17 and then continue higher. And the other alternative is it extends, erases divergence, and it's another 1-2. So we just don't know what the market's going to do, but I do think there is a good chance it extends because you really have no resistance. You have no resistance until you get to this $40 area. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys, I'm going to be getting off now. If I didn't get to your questions, super chat next time. I try to get to everybody's. So